All right, Louis Borsellino, and it is 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time on Sunday morning, February 8th. And before the market opens today, I wanted to get this video out because I got an email or a notification from one of you guys that follows me on Twitter, KNDL. KNDL. Um, so I asked you to submit your strategies, and so I put the strategy on here because I think it's a pretty good strategy when you look at it. Um, so what he says is my strategy is to buy a small at a bottom, LVL. So I'm thinking he's talking about the low value low, or we could talk about a couple different ways to buy the bottom here. All right, and then add when the rebound breaks 3.382 fib, which would be 2059. So a couple of things I want to talk about. So Friday was, you know, a classic where it consolidated up here, but this is a high volume node, consolidated, and I'll get into these channels at a different time. But I put these channels up, and then, but I wanted to show you the CSI. So you know, the things that we've developed that are pretty good tools. If you take a, this is green, green, green. These are apart from each other. Green, green. Okay. When it goes gray on the intermediate term or short-term term, it's now doesn't have a direction anymore. And then we have the this is short term, the intermediate term, but we had a long bias for the day. All right. But you gotta kind of the thing about trading is that I always say that every system works as long as you have enough money, right? So your system will work as long as you run a, you have enough money and enough time, right? So the key is to try to, trade what's going on in the market that day, and then you can take a look at what's going on. So we made the high, then we consolidated, and then, spent all the way till basically 11:35, and then we started breaking. Um, this is the area where I thought we made a bottom. We failed, came back, and took the 5 minute pivot out. Now, for us, the 5 minute pivot is a proprietary pivot, but we use it for the short term indicators. And the key was all the three sisters also were taking out their 5 minute pivot. So we went down, and I don't know how many times I'm going to get fooled by this pattern, but we go down, right? We go down inside of value, right? We hit the point of control. We go and take out value. And the key to this rally was, and I know this is, it seems like a big risk, but I see this pattern often. We take out a pivot, and we come back up here. We rally, and we really, we got to basically where this pivot, get just violated. But the key was right here. If you can't take that out, the high of this bar, the market's going back down. So that's when we went back down, and then we consolidated, and by the end of the day, we went back up because I believe this was all profit taken driven, and we had an up bias and closed unchanged on the day. So actually, I think we closed up 100 points. When we give a up bias, we have a percentage of the market closing higher, about 76% of the time. But the problem is, how do you get in the timing, right? So, so the strategy that was submitted to me was the fact that you're going to buy a low volume area or the bottom of value, and you could put your, there's a couple ways to do this, right? You can put it here, but you then don't know where to put your stop, right? So what you do is you wait for the market to sort of bottom out. And if it gets back inside value, all right, so here it spent all this time. Now it gets back inside value, right here. When it crosses back inside value, there's two places to put your stop. You can put your stop at the low, all right here, which would be 2044.30, or you put your stop right here on this bar, all right, because you want to buy it when it gets on this bar. So you put your stop at this bar at the low of that. The low of that is 2046 and a quarter, all right, or even this bar here, okay, which is 2045. So you put the buy in here, and then what uh, the recommendation on Twitter is that you're waiting for basically a 3.82 retracement. I'm going to minimize this down so we can get more of the chart in the view. So scrunch this up a little. So what I did was I drew Fibonacci numbers on here. As you can see, this is going from the high down to the low. Okay. When I get to the 3.82, it's going to be right here. All right. 3.82 and the 2059. So you'd be long from here. And what our one of our followers on Twitter is saying, when you get the 382 retracement, okay, you want to add to your position. Okay. So I wanted to get this out before the market opens today at 5 because you may not get a chance. You may get, when I told you that the market closed and it was still bullish, and I believe it's still bullish, and I think that that was a profit taken before the weekend, and they're going to basically make sure that, I mean, there's war escalating in Ukraine or whatever, or there's a gas deal. It doesn't matter. Let's see what happens what 5 o'clock brings us. But in normal market conditions, and this market's still bullish, I showed you the profile. So before the market opens today, I wanted to get this out and say that basically, if we're still bullish, well, to us, I'd be adding right here at 2061 and a quarter when it takes out the 5 minute pivot. Now, if this sits in this area for a while, as you can see, the 5 minute pivot is dynamic. It moves down with more time and more with more trades that happen below it. Okay, so the strategy that was submitted is if it gets above 59, you're going to add to it. And I like it. I like the strategy. I thought I'd share it with you. And look, this is my goal of this Twitter and my website and so on. When I was, on the floor and I was backing floor traders, and I had probably about 7 traders I was backing at all times, and then they went out on their own. I probably put about 50 traders through my boot camp and went out on their own. They all became millionaires and had great trading careers. So I'm just telling you that, when people have ideas, I love for you guys to submit it. I'm going to look at them. Um, if you got a trading system you like us to look and analyze, that's how I met Pat Tabbitt 20 years ago. I fielded a phone call, and he basically said, I got this, I'm a computer guy, I'm an engineer. We have a computer program that's developed a trading system. And Pat submitted the program to me. I started trading it, and trading 2 big E-minis. We made about $350 to $400,000 on that in 6 months. Now, I know that those were different times, but the market has the volatility as it has back then. So, I'm always looking for new ideas, new trading ideas, kind of incorporate with things that we would have again. So, I always encourage you guys to share with us, and we'll share with you. So, bullish. I'm gonna put out a video tomorrow morning, and with overnight action, there'll be a new value area, high, low, and so on. But you want to probably maybe watch this area, this 2059 area, and right now our 5 minute pivot it's 2061 and a quarter, and this kind of action you like to get, and maybe it'll go out and take a high out overnight. I don't know. I would prefer the market test the lows again, so it gives me an opportunity to buy the market lower. All right, everybody have a good day. It's Sunday afternoon. If you got nothing to do, you can view this video. But this is a classic. And then what I wanted to show you was we took out the pivot, so you got these CCI, and you see how it crossed here? So now it goes red, red, okay? Our intermediate term has gone red, all right? So down here, if you see it right here, went from gray, and right where it crosses goes red and stays red, okay? Goes gray, goes red, and then right here again, okay? Again, it goes gray. You see the short-term indicator starting to turn green. So that's a signal to me, that you got to not be in this anymore. So then what we're waiting for here is these things to cross over again. So these are the systems that we're going to try to make available to people on Toss and some other platforms. We're just negotiating with people now. So, all right, everybody, have a good Sunday. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you later. So remember, this guy, the submission was you're going to buy the low value area, okay? So now you'd be long right now. Probably right now I'd be following my stop, but I'd put my stop right about here. Okay. And then you're going to add to it if it goes through the 382 on the Fibonacci right here, which would be 2059. I would wait to see if you got to close above 2059. All right, everybody. Talk to you later, and we'll see you in the morning. Bye.